get started because I don't want to take, too much of your morning. I know you guys have lots going on with your students coming up this week. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pin my screen. And again, for those who are new to these Google sessions, my name is Katie Birch. I'm an educator first and foremost. I've been teaching for about 15 years. And so I'm also a Google certified trainer, and I've used Google quite a bit in the classroom, both at the elementary level and the high school level. So mail merge shouldn't take a long time today, so I'll have some time to show some other add-ons and extensions. So let me just share my slides. I'm going to put a link again to my slides in the chat, just so you can make your own copy. Whoops, nothing's cooperating with me. It's free copy. Okay, so I'm going to pop a link in the chat if I can find the chat. There we go.
And if you guys have any questions, I'll be monitoring the chat as we go along for Katie. It's probably best to hold your questions until one section so that Katie can go through a section of her presentation and then go back and answer questions.
Yeah, unless it's specific to what we're doing, and that's cool too. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share my slides with you. Please go ahead and make your own copy, no problem. Use them to teach somebody else. Totally awesome. You don't even need to give me credit. Just use them. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel, so use them as you wish. All right, so our topic today is, let me pull up my slides here. Our topic today is using mail merge, but I also have a few add-ons and extensions that I'm going to show you, just tools that you can add to your Google Classroom for differentiating, and also we're going to look at an add-on that lets you record. We're going to go through Screencastify today. Okay, my email is listed at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to reach out to me and ask any questions after, or as you're working through things on your own. If you've forgotten how to do something, feel free to flip me over an email. That's absolutely fine. Just so you know, the recordings for the last sessions are up on the YouTube channel for Taking It Global. I'll share the link at the end. Okay. Awesome. So I noticed that there was a few people that mentioned they couldn't see the presentation last week. That's totally fine. I'm going to share the link to the playlist, and you can go and access those after the fact as well. Okay, so today these are the topics we're covering. We're going to cover the difference between an app, an add-on, and an extension, because I don't know that I knew right away what those things were, and so I'm going to explain that a little bit. What, why, and how of a mail merge. What's the point? Why bother doing it? How is it helpful to me? I'm a big advocate in only using tools that are helpful and make my job easier, not more difficult. So if you find mail merge is not something that helps you at all, don't use it. I'm just sharing things with you that I find helpful, that are useful to me. So, and also we're going to go through a couple of my favorite add-ons and extensions, and I'll tell you why. And hopefully if we have time at the end, which I'm going to try and go quickly through this, I've created some Blackline masters for you today. I'll have time to do questions and answers for troubleshooting all things Google. Okay, before we start though, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I'm going to put, whoops, I keep going through my slides. Okay, I'm going to put a link in the chat. If everyone could just take a minute. So kind of like what I said in the last two sessions, I always like to highlight tools that I would use in the classroom. And we went through Padlet, and I showed you how to use Post-it notes for gathering information and data from your students or pretty much anybody. We also looked at Poll Everywhere, and I also want to show you Google Forms, because Google Forms is kind of a really cool tool to gather live data. So I'm going to pop this link into the chat, and if you could go and fill out the Google form, I'm going to show you on the teacher end what I would put up on the smartboard or share with my students. And I'm going to open that form. we go. And you guys go ahead and fill in that Google form and I will pull it up here on my computer. Where did that go? There we go. Okay. So you'll see that I've created a form for you to fill out. Let me know if you're having any issues accessing the form in the chat. But what I'm going to do is, as the teacher, I'm going to go to the responses. Okay, and then as students fill out the form, you'll be able to see the responses come in live. So if you could just pop into the chat and go ahead and, oh, see, awesome. So if you're gathering information and data from your students, maybe it's in a math class, you want to find out what everybody knows ahead of time, you can actually post questions and they'll fill in live as the students fill them in. So you'll see I asked you, where are you in your G Suite journey? Some people are at the beginning, some people are at the middle. That's awesome. The thing with Google is you can never be an expert because it's always changing. So it's definitely good for perseverance and not being afraid to learn new things and make mistakes, because Google is always updating and changing. Okay, so let's see. Most people have been using Google Classroom for about 0 to 4 years. Okay, that's pretty good. Half and half of you understand the difference between an app and an extension. So some people, that's okay. I'm going to answer that today. Okay, let's see what people wish they could do in G Suite. Work offline. Yes, you can actually work offline, make labels. Okay, mail merge is going to work for you for making labels. It will automate that task for you. Have links from one classroom, another easy for students. Google is pretty friendly when you make a mistake, but when you're doing assignments, yeah, you have to redo the assignments. Create multiple choice and short answer tests for your students. Okay, I can show you that if I have time today. There's a quizzes section around multiple choice and short answer tests, and they're self-marking in Google Classroom. Okay, oh, you want to see the activity of students in Google Classroom. That's a good one. Okay, so we've got people from Scarborough, Orangeville, Fort Francis. So in the classroom, I would actually send a form like this out to my students to see what they know. What do you know about a topic? It could be short answer. You could ask them, how do you feel about math? Do you love it? Do you hate it? You know, it's a really quick and easy way to gather data. And you can see that it just fills in live, just like Poll Everywhere or Padlet. Okay, this is good. I just didn't want to cover anything with you guys that wasn't relevant. So thank you for giving that information. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen, but it's not loading. Just fix this here. Callie, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Is someone not able to hear? I don't see anything in the chat. I just noticed that Robert, Katie got booted out for some reason. I just noticed that Robert asked a question about the recording on Saturday, and yes, it will be posted on, it will be posted as soon as we are able to. It takes a couple of days to get posted to our website. It's just a process, and it needs to be downloaded and uploaded a couple of times. So sorry about that. Katie's been having some issues today with her internet, which is kind of strange. I just need to watch for her. There, she's back.
Okay, I don't know what happened. How much of that did you get?
I don't know.
Did we stop? Did you guys get a chance to see my Google form, or was I just talking to myself for 5 minutes?
We saw the Google form for sure.
Okay, cool. Okay, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna open it up again. I don't know what happened. My computer doesn't like me this morning, I guess. Okay, let's jump into our session. Let me just pull up my slides. I had to restart my computer. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm presenter status. Oh, there we go. I gave myself presenter now. Okay, back to my slides. Okay, so not many of you knew what the difference between an app and extension was, so let's just talk about it quickly. So essentially, extensions are small programs that basically customize your browser. So where you would see an extension is up in the top of your browser. You see all these little extra icons I have up here. You might not have these up in your browser, and these are all extensions that I use to make my experience using a browser better. So this one, for example, is Screencastify. We're going to talk about this a little bit today. This lets me record demonstrations for my students. Read and Write for Google is an extension you've likely heard of. It's one that helps students with dictionary skills, and it reads text aloud to students. Most school boards have purchased this. This one is another one. I won't go through them all, but basically extensions make your browser better, okay? And the next thing we're going to talk about is apps. And apps were kind of old school. Basically all an app is a link to a website, and that's why Google Chrome, the Chrome Web Store, got rid of them, because it really essentially just links you to a website, and you can do that yourself with bookmarks. So an add-on is pretty much the same as an extension, but it's specific to one of the Google products. So there's add-ons in Google Sheets, and that makes Google Sheets better. And that's what we're doing today. The add-on we're learning today is Mail Merge. Okay. Google Docs has add-ons, and basically it gives new capabilities to G Suite, applications. Today we're automating a task. Other add-ons turn your Google Forms into self-marking quizzes, and those kinds of things. Okay, so what is a mail merge? We're going to talk about mail merges now. Does anyone have any questions about apps or extensions? I should show you, when you want to install apps and extensions, you go to the place called the Chrome Web Store, okay? And that's where you pretty much 80% of them are free, and if they're not free, they're free to a certain point, and then you can upgrade your account. You'll see that right now, the only thing you can see in the Chrome Web Store are extensions and themes. So just so you know, some school boards open all extensions to their teachers, and some school boards block extensions. It all depends on how your IT department runs and how well they know G Suite, really, because some IT departments have been thrown into G Suite and they're still kind of getting their head around. And so the first thing to do is block everything, which, I'm a big advocate in making sure teachers have access to all the tools, because how do we know it's a good tool unless we can use it? So this is where you install extensions. Extensions is in the Chrome Web Store, and we're going to do that today with Screencastify. But with an add-on gets added. You see at the top of my Google Slides, if I click on add-on and go get add-ons, you add the add-ons right within the application. So it will show up all the add-ons that are available for Google Slides will show up in Google Slides. And if I was to open Google Forms, the same thing. If I want to see add an add-on to a Google form, slightly different here, but you have to click this, not the cog, these little dots, and you go and get add-ons for Google Forms. So pretty much every application in G Suite has add-ons. Are they all available to you guys with your school board account? Probably not, but as you find that you need them, then you have to email your IT technicians and ask them to enable the add-ons. So how do you know if you want an add-on if you're blocked from the extension in your G Suite account? I recommend set up a Gmail account that's separate from your board account because you won't be blocked from any of the add-ons, and then you can try them there and then make a case for yourself with your IT technician. Really helps to keep those guys on board, so do it nicely. Okay, so a mail merge that we're talking about today, and the mail merge specifically that we're talking about is called yet another mail merge. To me, this is my favorite mail merge program. There are other ones out there. There's another one called Formule, and that's pretty good, but I found that it is quite glitchy. You'll end up with text in places where you don't want it, whereas yet another mail merge is, in my opinion, the most accurate mail merge. So a mail merge basically automates tasks from a Google Sheet. So you might have a Google Sheet of data that looks like this. Let me see. Here we go. And Mally, you can see my Google Sheet, right? Okay, good. I just want to make sure because sometimes when I flip between pages, you don't always see what I'm seeing in WebEx. So I have a demonstration student data sheet, which I have actually given you guys access to in that Google slide that I shared with you this morning. But if I have student information, I might have marks listed in a spreadsheet. Maybe if I'm teaching kindergarten, I'm tracking what students are saying to me so I can, in my newsletter, highlight what students have said specifically during science experiments. I actually had a teacher this week reach out to me because right now you guys are all teaching online, and there's a lot of programs that you've used in your own classroom, like BrainPOP or Mathletics or Mathies and Spelling City. And you want to find a way to get that information out to parents so they can help their child log in to these programs that you've been using in the classroom, like IXL or Prodigy or any of those programs. So a teacher came to me and she said, Katie, I want to send a letter to all my teachers, all my families, and I want all my student login information to be there. So I want to email them what the board email is, what the password for their email is, what their BrainPOP account information is, how they log in. So I said to her, instead of writing a single email to every parent, copying and pasting from your spreadsheet to your email, why not use a mail merge? And that's a situation where I would use a mail merge. So first you have your data. So today I've actually shared some data with you. Here's some other things that I would use mail merge for. I would use it to mail results of tests or assessments to my students with personalized feedback that I might have in a Google Sheet. Maybe you want to email information at the beginning of the school year, like I said, usernames, passwords, that kind of thing. Maybe you're sending out classroom newsletters, but you want to personalize them a little bit and you want to have a little quote from specific students sent to their specific families. It does make it really personal and helps build that relationship with your families when you do those kinds of things. And another really good use of a mail merge is if you're organizing field trips or a Toronto trip and you want to update families on how much they owe for the trip, but you don't want to like copy and paste that information into 20 emails, you can also create a mail merge for that. So that's a really good question. So Sigrid had a good question that kind of leads. Okay, Rainy River, it's still blocked, but don't worry, there's a workaround. And if you use your personal Gmail account to do the mail merge, then it's really easy just to forward that stuff on from your board email. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay, so let's give it a try. So if everybody has copied my slides, and I'm going to go put the link to my slides in the chat again. And if you go to slide 7, and click on the spreadsheet, you can actually take a copy of that spreadsheet that I created. So we don't have to populate our own. We're going to pretend that that's your data. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do the mail merge from that. So go ahead and make a copy of your own of that spreadsheet just by clicking on it. There we go. Make a copy. Now you have your own data sheet to play with today. Okay. You'll notice that on the spreadsheet for these purposes, normally if I would want to email each individual parent, but I don't want to email, anything to my parents right now today. So instead of emailing my parents, I'm just going to put my email in the parent email box. And this is your workaround. So if you are blocked from mail merge, but you still want to create those automated letters to your parents, instead of what I would do is I would go into your G Suite account, your Gmail account that you created, your own personal one, and I would bring this spreadsheet in to your Google account, and then in the parent email it back to yourself. That's your board email. It's better if you use a G Suite email, so use your G Suite email from the board. But for now, go and put your email in there. Don't put your board email like your Microsoft Outlook, put your G Suite email. So if you're with KPDSB, it would be k12.kpdsb.ca. If you're with NNEC, your last part of your email is at nnecschools.org. Valley might know what Rainy River's G Suite account is. And Sigrid, yours is at edu.knet.ca. So those are your board G Suite accounts. So email it over to yourself at your board G Suite account, and then I'll show you what to do from there. Okay, so everybody, let me know that you have a copy of that sheet that I shared with you. I can also pop the link in here for you. Oh, thanks. There's the link in case you didn't get it from the first page. Okay, so we're going to pretend that we have all this information populated in our spreadsheet. So now what we want to do is personalize emails to parents giving specific information about their child. So before you install the add-on in Google Sheets, you need to make a draft email. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up a new tab, okay, and you're going to go to your email. Okay, and then you're going to go, oh, did I not give you guys access? Okay, let me just make sure I gave you access. Everybody should have access to it. I'm going to pop it in the chat again, just in case. Okay. So we're going to go to Gmail and we're going to compose an email. Okay. We're not going to put to, we're just going to put a subject. We're going to call it, we'll call it whatever you like. Grade 3 newsletter. I think I can hear you crinkling something. I don't know if it's you or.
It was me, sorry.
No worries. You're making me hungry, that's all. Okay, so I'm going to make this nice and big so you can see it. There we go. I'll make my text nice and big. Okay, so here's my grade 3 newsletter. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put Dear Families. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that information from my Google Sheet and I want to send my families the student mark for life systems. I want to send them the student quote, and I also want to send them their BrainPOP password to work on their assignment after the fact. So just remember your titles. You can format your titles however you like. They can have an underscore, they can have spaces, but you need to remember what your titles are called in your spreadsheet. So I'm just going to remove these underscores. We don't necessarily need them. Okay, so I want to put, I know the child's first name is titled first name. I want to talk about life systems, LS grade, and student quotes. So I'm going to go and draft the email. This term, and then we're going to put this, I want to be specific about the student. So if I want to, in this email, have my student's name show up, I'm going to click these two little arrows, and I'm going to type the title of the first column of my form where it states the student's name. This term, the student, we'll just say Mally, has been working hard on life systems. Our unit called, and then we're gonna get the title. Some of my grade 3s did plants and some of my grade 4s did habitats, and I want that to fill according to the student. So I'm gonna call it, this term has been working hard on a unit called, and then I want the title of the life systems unit. And that I'm going to double check and make sure that that's the title of my column. Perfect. That's going to autofill in my email. The grade for I'm going to put the student's first name again. Oops, you got to make sure you fill it in correctly. Achieved a grade of, and then I want that grade information. So it's going to be LS grade is the title of my topic. With those two little arrows, and you'll find the arrow at the bottom of your keyboard. Okay, achieved a grade of, and the grade will autofill. And then maybe you want to put in a student quote. During this unit, your child was expressed ideas such as, and then you want to put in the student quote, which is titled student quotes. So remember, two little arrows, student quotes. Okay. As students go out for the March break, please have them spend time using our new BrainPOP accounts. Here is your child's BrainPOP login information. And then you're going to put in BrainPOP and then BP password. Make sure it's case sensitive. So we're going to put log on or log in, however you want to do it. And you're going to put BrainPOP. Okay, that's going to be the student login and password. And you're going to use those little arrows. BP password. Make sure you have it written correctly. Have a super holiday. And then if there was more information you wanted to put in there, you can do that. Maybe you want to talk about Earth and space systems or whatever data is on your sheet. Any of that can be auto added into an email. We're done the email. We titled it Grade 3 Newsletter. Don't panic, everything saves in Google. We're actually going to X out of it. It's all ready to go. Our draft is ready to go. I'm going to X out of it and it's going to auto save as a draft. If I go to my drafts, there it is there. I have a lot of drafts in here. I'm going to get rid of some of these. Oh, that's better. Okay, so there's my draft. Now I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. Now I'm going to install the add-on. Okay, like I said, if your board doesn't let you have access to this add-on, do it with your own personal Gmail account and have them sent over to your G Suite account, and you can forward those on to parents afterwards. But I'm going to show you what happens with mail merge. So you're going to go to add-ons and you're going to go get add-ons. Okay, and you're going to install yet another mail merge. You'll see that I've already installed it. You just click on it to install and then click install, and then it will show up from now on in your add-ons. So let's go. Once you have it installed, you're going to click Start Mail Merge. Don't worry, this is all being recorded and it's also in the slides, so don't panic. Now, everybody gets access to a free 1,500 emails a day, and it's very unlikely you're going to send more than 1,500 emails a day to your parents. I would say probably once a month is when you're going to want to use this. So there's no reason to have, you know, the pro account. All you have to do through this box is hit continue. You're going to say who it's from. You're going to put your email template and it should autofill. If it doesn't, you can click this refresh button and then go find it. There it is. Grade 3 newsletter. Okay, you can also track whether your parents opened your email, which is kind of neat. In this case, we don't need to because I'm emailing it to myself. And before you do anything, what I suggest you do is go receive a test email. What it's going to do is it's going to send you an email, okay, first, and you're going to make sure that it's exactly what you want it to be. So there we go. Okay. Dear family, so it doesn't no longer says first name, it says the student's name. This term, Elton has been working hard on our unit called Plants. Elton achieved a grade of level 4. During this unit, your child expressed ideas such as plants need water, soil, and nutrients to grow, even all the way up here in Sioux Lookout, and having a stable base is the most important part of the structure. As students go out for the March break, please have them spend time using our new BrainPOP account, and then you'll see that Elton's login and password is auto-filled into that email. So that's the email your parents will receive. They will think that you've spent a great deal of time writing them a personalized letter for their child, and it saved you a ton of time because you likely have had this information already in a spreadsheet somewhere. Okay, so looks good to me. Then you're going to go, okay, send all 6 emails. If you don't have access to yet another mail merge, this is when you would send all of these emails to yourself at your G Suite account. And just to be safe, I'm actually going to edit this. And for those KPDSB teachers, I'm going to make sure that it is. And for the Rainy River, I'm going to log in with the school board. account and make sure that you're able to receive those emails. I know that your students, not all students have the ability to receive an email from somebody outside of the board, so bear that in mind when you're sending mail merge, because the address that comes from mail merge is yet another mail merge, and some boards block that, so bear that in mind. But I'm just going to test this to make sure it works to my KP account. So let's go ahead and start the mail merge. We know it's working. We'll have some emails left today. I know it's going to work. Send 6 emails. So why send them to yourself? Because if you send it to yourself from the mail merge program, then it's really easy just to forward on to your parents from your board email instead of from the mail merge program, which they may or may not get. Okay, it will also track what happened with that information. So I'm going to go log in with my K-12 account and see if I'm able to receive. Aha, look at that. I was able to receive to my K-12 account, which means that hack will work for you. So what I would do at this point is, you'll see I now have the name. I have all the emails for all my students. So all I would do is say, dear families, and then I would forward this over to Celine's family. Okay, and then that personalized email is still there, but it's coming from my account as opposed to yet another mail merge account. And all that information is filled in automatically for me. No, parents do not need Gmail accounts to receive emails. It basically, if your parents have regular Gmail accounts or Hotmail accounts, then you don't have to do this step. You can go straight from, you can put their email straight into this form. But if you're emailing parents that have board emails, Mally mentioned that they are blocked. Now look, I opened my email and it says, oh, look, one's opened. It will even tell me if my parent has responded or if it bounced back. That's how Mally knew that it bounced, because it wouldn't receive yet another mail merge. It's still saving you time if you send them to yourself, because now you have these emails ready to go and you just plunk in your parents' email address and forward it instead of copying and pasting all this information. Something else to consider when you're creating your draft email, you can actually, in the title, put the name of the student as well, so it's easier for you to see who to forward it to. So in your draft, which is here, the grade 3 draft, you can actually, in the title, grade 3 newsletter, and you can put first name, and it will auto-populate the name of the student. And so it's easier for you just to forward that information over instead of having to open the email and see who it was for. Yeah, so that's awesome. It will still come to you. Yeah, it still comes to you. It still shows that it's from you, but because it's coming from your email address, yeah, if they respond, then it will come back to you. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? So I personally think it's a helpful tool. I've used it for classroom newsletters, and that kind of thing. I've used it to link a student's documents straight in Google Docs so parents can see what their students are working on, and it just automates that task for me and still keeps it personalized for parents. So that is yet another mail merge. Let's take a look, though, just to be sure. I just don't want to give you the wrong information. Let's go to K-12, and I'm going to go to that mail, and I'm going to pretend I'm the parent, and I want to email. I want to email that. Aha, see? Even though it's yet another mail merge, it's titled as from me. So if that parent wants to respond, it's just going to reply, and it's going to come back to me. That's awesome. Yeah, it totally puts your email address in there. That's good to know. Once Can one set one up for teacher emailing? Can you just repeat that question, Sigrid? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, if you want to email a whole bunch of teachers, you mean? Okay, yeah, it's no problem. What you do is you just put the teacher's email addresses in there instead of the parents' email addresses, and you would just type in teacher email. And I would do this, in fact, for our Connected North at Home program. When people give us their email addresses, and we send out our new schedule for the week, Mally actually used a mail merge, and it worked just fine, except for people who had Outlook board email addresses, and that's when it bounced back. How are we feeling? Do you want to learn something else new? I'll show you a couple of add-ons. Okay, so that's mail merge. If you feel like that's not, useful, the workaround is listed actually in the slides that I've shared with you, but let's talk about a couple of really awesome tools. 10 after 9. Okay, yeah, we got 10 minutes. We'll fly through these. So there's 3 tools here that I've highlighted. We can go into more detail, but I wanted to highlight Screencastify because until the end of May, Screencastify has now offered unlimited videos, which is really cool because normally you only get 5 minutes. So I've given you the link to Screencastify. You can just click there. I'm going to copy the link address if you want to add it to your G Suite account. I popped it in the chat there for you. And if you type in this code cast_COVID, you get free access for unlimited video recordings with Screencastify. So I'm going to show you Screencastify. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You can go ahead and install it if you like. I'm going to share my browser instead. Perfect. So Screencastify is an extension that shows up in your browser. You just go to the Chrome Web Store and you install it. And I'm 98% sure this is not blocked for you in most school boards. So you just click Add to Chrome. It will ask you to enable, allow your microphone and that kind of thing so you can do recordings. And once you've done that, I'm going to turn my camera off here because I want to show you what Screencastify does. So I want to give an instructional video to my students and show them how to use or log into Google Classroom. So what you can do, or maybe you want to demonstrate how to log into the BrainPOP account. Let's do that. So I'm going to open BrainPOP and I'm ready to record. I'm going to teach my students how to log in. Let's not do BrainPOP. Okay, we'll do BrainPOP. Okay, so we're going to go to Screencastify once it's installed. You have a few options here. You can just record your browser tab. You can just record your desktop, okay? Or you can just record yourself with the web camera. Maybe you just want to say hi to your students and good morning so they can see you. And you want to just leave them a nice little video, or maybe you want to read them a story. So to do just the webcam, you hit record. Then your webcam will show up. You'll grab your book and you can read it to your students. When you're finished, you're going to hit stop, which is down the bottom here. And what I love about Screencastify is it lets you share that directly into Google Classroom. So you just have to wait for it to save to your Google Drive, which is number 1, great. You always have a copy of that in your Google Drive. That's a horrible picture to stop on, just saying. You just need to wait for it to upload, and then you can share directly to your Google Classroom and leave a message for your students. Maybe you want to give them auditory instructions. Maybe you just want to say hi or dress in a funny costume and read them an Easter story. And because you have unlimited recording time, you could talk for as long as you want. You don't have to read a 5-minute story anymore. Okay, it's just finishing uploading. Once it's done, I'm going to go share to classroom. Okay. You'll have to enable your classroom, choose the classroom. This is just a demo one I have. Okay. Choose an action. You can make it an assignment. You can ask them a question. You can make an announcement. You can even make it a video that always stays, it's a material that stays in your classwork session. For now, we're going to go make an announcement. Click go. Give the student instructions, send it to all students or some. There's the video there. Obviously, if you gave it a better title, it would show up as a better title. Here, we'll give it a better title. OCD won't let it go. Okay, share to Google Classroom. Do that again. Choose class. Make an announcement. Go. Okay. Hi everyone, from Mrs. Birch. Then you're going to post it. And what the students will see is they'll see that you've left them a video and they can go and watch it. Automatically posted onto the announcement stream of your Google Classroom. Students can click, open it, watch it, and respond in writing or tools you can use with video on Thursday. Or you'll grab your book and you can. There we go. Easy. Screencastify is awesome. I use it a lot, especially I'll show you. Running out of time, Mally. So we're going to look at one more tool where Screencastify would work really well if you're teaching a math lesson, for example. So the other extension we're going to look at before we sign off today, let me see if there's any questions first. Screencastify, pretty simple, right? It's an extension and it's added to your browser. Let's see if I still have people in here. Okay, I still have people. Okay, last one that I'm going to highlight is called Jamboard. It's actually pretty new and it's out by Google. Okay, so it's Google Jamboard. I'm 90% sure students have access, but essentially it's a whiteboard. So you can create a Jamboard, okay, by hitting the plus down here. And basically it turns it into a whiteboard. So you can draw, you can erase, you can write a sticky note with your students. Okay, so students have access to create things with your students when you share your Jamboard with them. The computer's really slow today. But either way, Jamboard, you can insert an image. So I would use Jamboard and Screencastify together. So you could teach your lesson as you're teaching your lesson. If you're teaching synchronously, you're teaching live to your students, record it. And then if students are missing it, you can pop that recording into Google Classroom. So maybe I just record my browser tab, okay? And maybe I want to put my camera in there so my students can see me as well. I'm gonna hit record. There we go, it's recording. I can even, yep. And then I'm gonna write all over my, I'm gonna 4 plus 4. Obviously it's a little easier if you're really good at using your mouse. And then when you're done recording, you're gonna hit stop. Sometimes if it doesn't stop, here. And then it records you. So the Jamboard gives you the opportunity of using a whiteboard while you're trying to teach online, and then that can be automatically shared to Google Classroom. Okay, so those are 2 tools that will help you be interactive with your teaching in G School using Google Classroom. Okay, for a couple questions, if anyone has questions. Sigrid, I see you were not asked for a password for what? Screencastify? You might have enabled it before, and that's why you're not being asked for it again. It could be something that we talked about when we were working together in KO. Okay, does anyone else have any G Suite questions? I do want to quickly answer self-marking quizzes. If you use Google Forms in G Suite, you actually have the ability, you can actually do it right from Google Classroom, actually. If you want to create a quiz for your students to answer and instant marking, all you do is go to the classwork stream, create quiz assignment, and what it will do is it will open up a quiz for you that you need to make, obviously. So show you quickly, student quiz, and then you're going to put your question in. Who is the US president? You can put Bieber, Trump, Arnold. Okay, you can also put images in if you want to, make it more interesting for your students. Then down here at the bottom of your quiz, you have to click on answer key, choose the correct answer, and hit done. That way, and you also make it a required question. If you want students to answer it, you need to make it required. And someone else asked in Google form, if you click in settings, see where it says limit one response. So what you want to do is, if you only want students to be able to respond once for this Google quiz, click limit to one response, and then uncheck where it says edit after submit. If you want students to edit their quiz after they submit, then click that, but most of the time you don't, and hit save, okay? And then when your student opens that assignment, they'll do it and it will auto mark as long as you've identified which are the correct answers. So that's a really quick way. This is a really good exit to find out if students were listening and also what they learned during their lesson as well. I've used this a lot, Google Forms, as an exit strategy. Okay, any burning questions before we sign off?
Yeah, Cecilia asked where the when the other sessions are going to be ready, and we will. It does take a couple of days for the sessions to be posted on the website. The one that was done on Saturday probably will be up. We can ask who's doing that if they can get them up by tomorrow.
I can for today. I sent an email to Sarah, who emailed me, and I sent her the link. Let me see where it is. All these, oh, here we go. I actually have a link to the video from Saturday that you can access until it shows up on our YouTube channel. I'll pop it in the chat. If Screencastify isn't loading, it could just be the internet is slow or a bunch of people are using it. Let me quickly, though, Robert, show you how to upgrade your account. So if you click on Screencastify, once it's loaded, and this little cog here, you can upgrade your account with that. Oh, here we go. Sorry, it's in the lines. If you go My Subscription, you can upgrade your account with that code I gave you, and you'll get unlimited recordings. Yeah, I would just X out of it, Robert, and try it again if it's having trouble loading. Sometimes computers don't like us in the mornings, especially when we need them. Okay, so I'm going to pop the link for that video in the chat there for you. That will let you look at the video from Saturday. Google Meet is awesome, and on Thursday, I'm going to show you a trick. I'm not sure if everybody knows on how to title your Google Meet and stop students from being able to access your Meet when you're in it or when you leave it. Some of the issues with Google Meet is students, once you leave as the teacher, the students still stay in. So I'm going to show you how to stop that from happening, because I don't always want my class to stay in after I've left. That's awesome. Maybe, Robert, you could show us how you use Google Meet. If you don't have access to Google Meet already, I did notice that Google Meet is now available for most Google Classroom accounts, which is really sweet. Okay, I'm just going to quickly show you. I know I keep saying I'm going to quickly do things, but I'm going to share my screen. I'm still sharing my screen anyway. And I'm going to show you how to access our recordings. So taking it global, we have a whole playlist of all of our recordings. I'm also going to share. I'm going to share the playlist with you so you have access to all the Connected North at Home sessions that you are more than welcome to go ahead and post in your, sorry, Mally, I've got you going live here. In your Google Classroom and use them as lessons. Plus, we also have a resource page. Yeah, please share with me one of your lessons. I'd love to see it. Robert, that'd be awesome. Okay, there's the link for the playlist for Taking It Global, where all of the recordings for any session that we've done will show up here, and it's very easy to embed those into Google Classroom. So, okay, I'm going to stop there. I've talked enough, and I need to finish my coffee. So thank you so much for participating, and we're going to get together again on Friday.
And I just wanted to add, like, I know from a teacher perspective, there's been a lot of stuff that's been shared over the last couple of days and weeks with all the teachers and the expectations to keep up and everything. Don't feel you need to include all of this all at once. Like tiny baby steps, and don't overwhelm yourself, or because you can go down what we call the rabbit hole, and just get too overwhelmed, and then the kids will as well. So if you just start small, then you'll be much more successful.
Yeah, do one thing a week. Like with Google Classroom, if you're new to it, use Google Classroom and just make announcements. Post a video and say hi to your kids. Like, I think that we put lots of pressure on ourselves as teachers that we need to do a full day of lessons and send all these resources out to our kids. But really, think about it. We're all at home with our own children, trying to teach them and trying to teach a whole classroom. And nobody, I'm a parent and a teacher, nobody is expecting the children to be in school all day, that's for sure. It's a battle to get my 12-year-old to do one assignment, let alone 3. All right, have a super day, you guys. This will be recorded, and see you on Thursday.